illegal appointment. That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next steps.
I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments. There will be anything. It will just be me addressing you guys until you.
Is the curtain finally closing on Dalton, Illinois' once celebrated super mayor, Tiffany Henyard? A storm of scandal, finger-pointing, and federal scrutiny is closing in, threatening to bring down a reign built on controversy and funded by the very people she vowed to serve. Once a rising star in local politics, Henyard is now entangled in a growing list of investigations involving financial irregularities, public fund misuse, and unchecked power. Yet, her public persona remains one of polished success. Detractors claim that Henyard has prioritized personal ambition over public duty. Reports of lavish spending, first-class travel, upscale accommodations, and an eye-popping $40,000 Amazon binge charged to township credit cards have outraged everyday residents, many of whom are barely scraping by, adding fuel to the fire. Is her governing style, described by many as aggressive and iron-fisted, her fierce public addresses and relentless online rants targeting opponents have widened the rift between her and the community. While some admire her fiery resolve, others see it as a glaring lack of professionalism and composure. But the facade is beginning to crack. Accusations of intimidation, tactics, resource exploitation, and efforts to silence dissenters have painted a grim picture of a leader on the verge of collapse. The trust of the public has been deeply shaken, prompting legal fallout and sparking an active FBI probe into her administration. As more dirt surfaces, Henyard is now in survival mode, scrambling to salvage her legacy. The story of a devoted public servant is being rapidly rewritten into a cautionary tale of political ambition gone rogue. With Dalton teetering on financial uncertainty and citizens demanding answers, her grip on power has never been more fragile. Dalton now finds itself at a pivotal crossroads. Whether this marks the downfall of Tiffany Henyard or the beginning of a messy political war, one thing is undeniable. The saga has reached a boiling point, and its shockwaves will be felt far beyond this small town's borders.
New developments in South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial.
Dalton, Illinois, is spiraling deeper into chaos as new developments cast an even darker shadow over Mayor Tiffany Henyard's embattled administration. In a town already rattled by budget woes and political tension, the Illinois State Comptroller halted payments to the village after it failed to submit key financial reports, sparking widespread outrage and a fresh wave of concern among residents. This financial gridlock has amplified criticism of Henyard, fueling the narrative of mismanagement and deepening distrust in her leadership. In a move that stunned many, Henyard held a dramatic solo meeting, what critics are calling political theater rather than serious governance. With no trustees in attendance and urgent issues ignored, she took the stage alone, delivering an impassioned speech about resilience and resolve. But the empty chairs around her told a louder story, one of fractured leadership and a mayor increasingly disconnected from the rest of her government. To opponents, the spectacle reeked of desperation. The image of a mayor going it alone while serious allegations and public outrage mount only strengthened the belief that she's lost touch with her community. Financial missteps and misuse of public resources continue to haunt her administration. And with state funds on hold due to overdue reporting, frustration is boiling over. Many argue that Henyard's unwillingness to cooperate with trustees has paralyzed progress, leaving crucial decisions unmade and the town's future in limbo. Yet, her loyal base sees something entirely different. a leader standing firm amid a political storm. To them, Henyard's defiant monologue wasn't just posturing, it was proof she's willing to stand alone for what she believes in. They see her as a fighter, refusing to bow to opposition and working tirelessly for the people of Dalton. But for everyday residents exhausted by endless political warfare, the solo meeting was just another symbol of dysfunction. Instead of restoring hope, it underscored just how broken things have become. The village's failure to file financial paperwork has left taxpayers wondering where their money is going, and why the basics of responsible governance seem to be missing in action. Tensions escalated even further when township trustees dropped the hammer. A strict new credit card policy aimed directly at Henyard's spending. The decision, they said, was a direct response to what they viewed as reckless financial behavior. Accusations that Henyard had been treating public funds like a personal allowance. It was time, they argued, to bring accountability back to the village budget. Henyard, never one to back down, hit back with fire. In a passionate address, she accused the trustees of orchestrating a deliberate campaign to sabotage her leadership. And, more shockingly, claimed their policy changes could disrupt essential village services. She framed the move as more than political revenge. It was, she warned, a threat to the very heart of Dalton. To drive her point home, Henyard made a bizarre comparison. She said the policy might cancel an ice cream social for local seniors. Yes, she claimed political infighting could mean Grandma doesn't get her scoop of vanilla at the annual event. The image of elderly residents being deprived of a simple joy became her rallying cry, drawing both laughter and support from her followers. But critics weren't buying it. To them, the ice cream comment was a smokescreen, a cheap distraction from years of spending scandals. From expensive dinners to luxury travel, Henyard's critics argue she's been anything but frugal with taxpayer dollars. They saw the trustees' credit card crackdown not as an attack, but as a long-overdue intervention. Caught in the middle, residents are growing restless. Some still back Henyard, believing she's under siege for standing up to the political establishment. They argue she's the only one fighting for change in a system rigged against her. Others, however, are losing patience, seeing a leader who's dug her own grave through reckless spending and poor judgment. The battle over credit card controls has become the latest flashpoint in a deeply fractured town, pushing Dalton closer to a political breaking point. As the storm intensifies around Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people of Dalton are left wondering, how does this all end? With both sides entrenched and tensions reaching a breaking point, the future of the township is more uncertain than ever. Then came the latest bombshell, a whistleblower. Carmen Carlisle, once a trusted insider in Henyard's circle, stepped forward with explosive allegations. According to Carlisle and her former assistant, the mayor didn't just stretch the rules, she shattered them, manipulating the township from within to protect a carefully curated image while living large on the public's dime. The most jaw-dropping claim? A staggering $440,000 shopping spree on Amazon, funded by taxpayer money. That's not a typo. From luxury travel to upscale hotels, lavish meals to costly perks, Carlisle says Henyard treated public funds like her personal credit card. In a town struggling to stay afloat, that kind of spending isn't just outrageous, it's devastating. The allegations landed like a thunderclap. A town already crippled by financial instability now had to reckon with the idea that while residents tightened their belts, their mayor may have been living in unchecked luxury. Carlisle's revelations reignited long-standing concerns over transparency and deepened the divide between Henyard's administration and the public it's supposed to serve. The financial picture is grim. In just 2 years, Dalton's healthy $561 million surplus has plummeted into a $365 million deficit. An independent probe led by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot didn't help Henyard's case. It only confirmed what many feared, that mismanagement ran deep and wide. Still, Henyard is digging in. Rather than address the allegations head-on, she's launched into defense mode, claiming she's the victim of a coordinated smear campaign. She's accused the media, her critics, and even township trustees of conspiring to take her down, going as far as assigning nicknames to those who challenge her. To her, this isn't a scandal, it's sabotage, but her aggressive posture is only stoking the flames. With the FBI circling and the Illinois State Controller freezing state funds due to failed audits, pressure is mounting fast. Subpoenas are stacking up. Public meetings have turned into shouting matches. At one chaotic session, Henyard even wielded a golden microphone while publicly berating her critics, turning governance into a political spectacle. And then she threw another match onto the fire. Despite his indictment for bankruptcy fraud, Deputy Police Chief Lacey was reinstated by Henyard, igniting fury among township trustees who had pushed to put him on leave. That decision sparked yet another legal showdown and further inflamed an already burning crisis. Former allies are fleeing. Her support base is shrinking. What was once a local government is now a full-blown political circus. Protesters are gathering, town meetings are erupting, and the calls for her resignation are growing louder. One trustee didn't mince words. "I wish the FBI was around the corner to raid this place, because they all need to go to jail." Even Henyard's personal charity, the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, hasn't escaped scrutiny. Though it claims to help cancer patients, allegations suggest it was used to siphon taxpayer money. Just a month after it was chartered, Dalton approved a $10,000 donation. And the mayor's so-called charity work? A 10-day, taxpayer-funded trek across the state to promote a breast cancer bill that, in the end, was never even filed. All the while, police officers were pulled from their duties to escort the mayor and her entourage, leaving the town short-staffed and vulnerable. Meals, lodging, supplies, and photographers for the trip, all paid for by the public. What should have been a cause-driven effort is now seen by many as another example of self-promotion and misuse of funds. Despite it all, Henyard continues to fight. But the harder she pushes, the more isolated she becomes. The FBI investigation is intensifying, and with every new development, more residents are turning against her. One disillusioned resident captured the mood perfectly. "She won't see the inside of a jail cell. The entire state's corrupt, or they'd have done something by now." It's a raw, bitter statement, and a reflection of the growing belief that accountability may never come. As Dalton looks ahead, the community is left asking, can the damage be undone? Is there hope for real change? Or has this saga become yet another chapter in a long story of corruption and broken trust? Mayor Tiffany Henyard once proudly dubbed herself Super Mayor. But now, with scandal after scandal piling up, she's battling to keep her grip on power while her political world collapses around her. The town is watching, the clock is ticking, and one thing's for sure: Dalton will never be the same again.